All right, so today we are diving into Haley Welch
Okay.
and what happened with her cryptocurrency, AJYK. People want to know what went on.
Yeah.
Was it all hype or was it Hatesy more?
Right.
Well, we're going to
Yeah.
find out. So for those who haven't been, glued to their screens 24/7, Haley Welch was already kind of a social media superstar, right?
Yeah.
I mean, TikTok fame, catchy hawk to a phrase, popular podcast, even had like a whole merch line.
Wow. Yeah.
But then she jumps headfirst into this world of cryptocurrency.
So it's a really, it's a fascinating case study because you have this influencer, right, with this like huge and really devoted fan base built on, her humor, her relatability, and then she just like enters this crypto space, which can be, pretty complex, intimidating, for a lot of people.
Exactly. And that's where things get really interesting. So the sources that you sent us are these excerpts from this online article that kind of breaks down the launch of AMJ Walk and all the controversy that followed. So we're going to unpack all the details, look at the accusations, and just try to figure out what went wrong. We'll also look into how Haley and her business partners responded to this whole thing, and maybe we can learn something from this. Some valuable lessons for anyone who is navigating this wild world of crypto.
Yeah, for sure.
So HGA launched on December 5th.
Okay.
And initially it looked like a huge success. The value just like skyrocketed to $490 million in just 20 minutes.
That is, that's pretty typical of what we see, with meme coins especially. It attracts people looking for quick profit, but to seasoned investors, that rapid of an ascent kind of raises a red flag. It's often a sign of artificial pumping, which is,
like a key element
of a rug pull scam.
The rug pull. So I'm guessing that's not good.
No, not at all. Basically what happens is the developers, they manipulate the price upwards, they create a lot of hype, encourage people to buy in, and then they vanish, take all the money with them, and leave investors with, worthless tokens.
Wow. So it's like a pump and dump scheme.
Yeah.
But with cryptocurrency.
Exactly. And sadly, this article includes a story about someone who claimed to have invested, their life savings and their children's college fund into HWAL, and they lost everything. So it's a, stark reminder of the real human cost here and these devastating financial risks that are involved.
That is just heartbreaking. It's a good reminder for everyone listening that any investment, especially in something as volatile as crypto, it carries risks.
Yeah.
You really need to do your due diligence.
Yeah, right.
So we have this incredible initial surge followed by just this devastating crash. HWAK plummeted to $41 million in the same 20 minutes it took to reach those astronomical heights. I can't even imagine the stress, the panic. People must have felt watching their investment just disappear like that.
Right.
And of course, the internet exploded with accusations that this was, a classic rug pull.
Which, I mean, given the sequence of events, it's understandable. It fits the pattern, perfectly. And this particular incident, I think, gained even more traction because it involved Haley, who already had such a large and trusting fan base.
Right. I mean, she built this reputation of being authentic and relatable. So to see her involved in something like this was a huge shock to a lot of people.
Right.
Haley did take to X, denying the accusations. She said her team didn't sell any tokens and that no influencers were given free tokens beforehand.
Yeah.
But her statement used, a lot of crypto jargon, like KOL, which stands for key opinion leader.
Right.
Yeah. Might have been confusing to those less familiar with the crypto space.
Her use of language is interesting. It's it really highlights this disconnect between influencer culture and the complexities of the crypto world. I mean, using these insider terms like KOL makes sense to a crypto audience, but it can really alienate and confuse a broader audience, especially like those who might be new to investing.
Right. It makes you wonder if she was truly equipped to navigate the nuances and the potential pitfalls of a cryptocurrency launch.
That's a great question. Did she fully comprehend the implications of her actions, and potential consequences, especially given her influence over such a vast audience?
And then there's the X Spaces event.
Ah, yes.
Right.
The attempt to quell the controversy, that perhaps just added fuel to the fire. Haley and her crypto partners from a company called Over Here hosted this live audio event on X Spaces, seemingly to address these, concerns like head on. But in a lot of ways, it kind of seemed to backfire.
So they're trying to be transparent. Which is good, right? What went wrong?
Yeah. Well, for starters, I think the timing was just off, you know? It came across as this reactive measure rather than...
Like a proactive approach
Mm-hmm.
to transparency. Plus, the execution was, let's just say, less than ideal.
Haley herself was pretty quiet during the event, right?
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like her partners from over here were the ones doing most of the talking.
Exactly. And that silence from Haley, I think, speaks volumes. I mean, when you're facing accusations of this magnitude, right?
Yeah,
especially when, your fans' money is on the line. You really need to be upfront, transparent, and actively engaged in addressing,
the situation, leaving your partners to handle these tough questions, especially when, their explanations are kind of vague and unconvincing. It only fuels speculation and distrust,
It's like they were trying to, hide behind technical jargon and avoid giving straight answers.
That's a common criticism that's levied against a lot of crypto projects, It's like this language barrier between the crypto world and the average person can be significant, if you're trying to clear the air and reassure people. Resorting to convoluted technical terms isn't the way to do it.
And then to make matters even worse, CoffeeZilla enters the scene. Now, for our listeners who might not know, he's a pretty popular YouTuber and crypto journalist who's known for exposing scams, especially in the crypto world.
Yeah.
He actually joined that X Spaces event and didn't hold back.
CoffeeZilla is, he's a respected voice in the crypto community, and I think his presence definitely added another layer of scrutiny to the situation. He directly challenged Haley and her team, accusing them of insider trading and sniping, which is essentially using bots to buy up tokens the very second they become available, often at a much lower price than later investors will pay. It gives us, snipers an unfair advantage, allowing them to potentially profit while others are left holding the bag.
He had this one quote that really stood out to me. This is one of the most miserable, horrible launches I've ever seen. You guys generated over $1 million in fees while your fans got rug pulled.
That quote really cuts to the heart of the issue, I think. It highlights that perceived power imbalance, right, between Haley and her team, who allegedly profited, significantly from this, and her fans, many of whom might be, new to crypto and less familiar with the risks. They trusted her and they bore the brunt of the, the financial losses.
And then Haley leaves the X Spaces event before answering this crucial question, leaving her partners.
To deal with the fallout.
Not exactly. The picture of accountability. Not at all. It just reinforces that perception of a lack of transparency, and raises further questions about her involvement and her understanding of the situation. Later on, Over Here releases a statement on X trying to explain the token distribution and deny any wrongdoing, but it was just filled with confusing technical jargon. There was a lot of talk about tokenomics without really explaining what that means or addressing the specific accusations.
Well, tokenomics refers to
economic model.
The economic model
of cryptocurrency, right?
Yeah.
It outlines things like how the tokens are distributed, how they can be used, and the overall mechanics, of the project. But simply stating that everything was done according to the tokenomics, without addressing those specific allegations, of insider trading and sniping. It just further muddies the waters.
So they're basically saying, trust us, everything's fine, but without providing, clear evidence or explanations that, the average person can understand. Precisely. It creates the sense that they're more focused on protecting themselves than on being accountable to the people who, invested in this project based on their trust.
In Haley.
So we have Haley, this influencer who has this massive following, built on trust and relatability, now is the center of this major crypto controversy, accusations of a rug pull, insider trading, vague explanations, and this X Spaces event. That seemed to just generate more confusion and skepticism than clarity.
And what's particularly interesting here, I think, is how this entire situation kind of brings to light this this complex intersection of celebrity, social media, and the often volatile world of cryptocurrency. It raises these serious questions about trust, transparency, and the responsibility influencers have to their audiences when promoting, These are potentially risky financial ventures.
Yeah, and it's a tough lesson, for anyone thinking about getting into crypto, about the importance of doing your research, really understanding those risks before you invest in anything, right?
Especially in something as fast-paced as digital assets.
Yeah, I think while influencers can play their role, right, in bringing attention to new technologies, new investment opportunities, their endorsements should never be taken
Yeah.
as financial advice.
Right.
It's so crucial to develop a healthy skepticism, to look beyond the hype
Right.
and really educate yourself about the potential downsides.
So what can we take away from this whole HHK saga? What are the key lessons for all of us? Basically for those who are, thinking about tipping their toes into the crypto waters.
I think the most important takeaway here is due diligence. Before you invest in any cryptocurrency, whether it's a meme coin or something more established, do your research, understand the fundamentals of the project. Look into the team behind it, right? Their experience, their track record, their reputation, and don't just rely on what you see on social media or, your favorite influencer is promoting.
If something sounds too good to be true,
it probably is. High returns often come with high risks, especially in,
the unregulated world of crypto. There are legitimate projects out there.
Yeah.
But there are also plenty of scams and schemes that are designed to exploit people's hopes for quick riches.
This whole situation with Haley and HAK really just underscores those risks, especially with investing in meme coins and projects that rely heavily on social media hype. It's a reminder that popularity doesn't equal legitimacy.
Exactly. And I think it also highlights the need for greater transparency and accountability within the crypto space. Projects need to be more upfront about their operations, and influencers need to be more responsible with their endorsements.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's a question for you to think about. How can you become a more informed or discerning investor, especially in the world of digital assets, which is constantly changing and evolving? What steps can you take to protect yourself from scams and make sure that you're making sound financial decisions? Thanks for joining us on this wild ride through the world of Haley Welch and CJWK. We hope this deep dive gave you some valuable insights and some food for thought. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and happy diving.